We're breaking down another dance practice today, and this time it's a 르세라핌's Mama Award Show's performance. I'm glad they released a dress rehearsal because it was really hard to see in the actual performance video. With this one, they split it up into sections in the intro part, which gives us more variety and also giving us a different vibe at the very end of the actual dance practice and or dress rehearsal, whatever you want to call it. So let's go and break this one down. If you guys haven't followed my Twitch, ladiesman5678, go and follow it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's go and roll it, baby. This beginning part is pretty simple. Yoonjun is just gonna go ahead and introduce the entire thing, and she does this like graffiti thing on the camera, and I think in the original performance they do it on a big screen. I think what's important to point out is that she really still stays in character no matter how close the camera is. And so with Chaewon's section, it's very straightforward. Everyone's gonna go ahead and do choreo with minimal blocking. And I think this part is where she shines the most in this section right here. Specifically with Chaewon's part, I think the first half of that section, it wasn't as strong as the second half. There was a groove in the beginning of that section where I feel like she could have made it bigger, and it could be the boots, could be the outfit that gave it the illusion that she didn't do it big enough. But I think the backup dancers did it bigger than her, and I don't know if that was intentional or anything. But however, when it comes to the second part of, or like the second half of that intro or her section, she shines because she has this looseness with the moves that allow her to kind of extend the textures and extend her movements and like fill out the moves as they go. And I think that was the satisfying part about watching Chaewon dance in that specific half. I mean, that's pretty much it for Chaewon's section. There's not anything too much to talk about just because they split it up into very short sections here. And they're all pretty straightforward. And so with Kazuha's and Eunchae's section, it's very foundational. We got top rocking. It's pretty hip hop. And you'll see that there's floor work with the backup dancers and a little bit of partner work to go and create visuals. I think that was just super simple, straightforward. Again, not too much to talk about, just like how they went for the foundational route for their section to go and give us a separate vibe from Chaewon's section. And then coming in for Sakura, totally gives us a different vibe, which is what I really like about this, is because they're not keeping the same vibe for us. She like switched it up on us basically. So we're gonna actually go back to Sakura's section. The reason why I want to highlight Sakura's section specifically is because I wouldn't say it's a massive switch up. It gives us contrast. When it switches to Sakura's section, it's like, oh, she's not doing the foundational hip hop movement that Kazuha and Eunchae were doing. She was doing rather more on like the conversational sensual side and also whacking. So I think that was cool to give us that switch up, and it was all about character within her section, which I really like. And I'm just gonna replay it again just because I think that was probably my favorite section out of the three sections that we saw. And she was really playing that character, having her posture up, having her chin up to really perform towards us. And then we're just gonna have everybody walk in to go and kind of finish off the last part of this section. With that last part, it's very simple. Everyone was just gonna do just like pretty much original choreo throughout the entire thing to kind of just finish off that bit of the actual dress rehearsal. And everyone, essentially, we just do the choreo and then a little bit of freestyle throws. But for the most part, that one was pretty much straightforward. And I think they skip a certain section. Yeah, I think they skip this part and go straight into the breakdown with Yoonjin's solo starting us off. Yeah, that's right. I think in this breakdown, Yoonjin really like set the tone for the entire breakdown. This was by far my favorite section of the entire performance. She just has that energy and aura when she performs, and she knows it. Okay, so with Yoonjin's section all the way down to the walk, right when we get to this part where they're all condensed with Eunchae being center, I think it's important that Yoonjin really set that tone for us, because she knows that she's center and her members are basically waiting on somewhere on stage to kind of introduce everybody, right? That specific section, especially the chest section and how heavy the bass starts, it actually would not look good if the blocking and or formation was spread out into windows. The effect of everyone doing the chest move at the same time would not have the same impact if they were spread out rather than being condensed in. So it was really clever to just have everybody condensed in for that specific part, and how the chest move actually matched the heaviness of the basses that came into the actual breakdown or slash instrumental of the song. Perfect way of doing that. Yoonjin really just killing her solo part with the arm move that she does here, and she just has this like, I want to say smize towards the audience, where facials isn't meant to really be like super animated, but rather than I'm her, I'm killing this shit. Even though with this chest move, with this arm move, it was more so about smizing towards the audience rather than over animating your facials. I like how they put Eunchae center here. I think it was a perfect section to put Eunchae center. So with the catch, honestly, it wasn't as impactful that I thought it was going to be. Maybe it's in the dress rehearsal. It looked better in the actual performance, but I think the catch, or I think the throw of the hat, or maybe it wasn't really that casual in my opinion. I feel like she threw it in a way where it was too safe for Sakura. And that's fine, because at least she can catch it. But I feel like if they had done like a riskier throw, I would have been more blown away rather than just like, oh, let's just throw the hat in a way where she can really catch it. I think it would have been much more impactful if they threw a hat in a way where it was risky and then Sakura caught that shit. But obviously, great thing that she caught it, and it still held that impact. But I think they could have done it in a way where it really like had another impact of like, oh my god, they threw a hat from like the corner of the formation and then Sakura caught it without looking. That would have been crazy. And with Eunchae being center for that breakdown or like that fold out section, it was very clean. Everyone was just pretty much doing choreo, and then there was a little bit of ripple effects, and as well as just like angles with the arms to give it more of a bigger picture for everybody. We got this duo section with Kazuha, and then goes into the 4-person blocking with whacking. Then we got Chaewon center for this part. Nice ripple effect there to get into these columns. If you guys don't see that, with Chaewon's section, they seamlessly transition into this formation to get columns in the back for literally specifically this next part, which was very seamless because it wasn't distracting at all. They got there without us noticing because we were focused on what the pretty much what the front line was doing. Again, pretty straightforward. There's not much else to talk about, but I really like that section specifically. And so with this, I think it was so cool, actually, like that window effect, or I guess that line effect where Kazuha is in the front and they're doing like this like ripple effect in a way where it gives us visuals. I only have seen it when the 5 of, or I guess in this case 르세라핌 was doing it. I think it was really cool when they incorporated 4 different lines to do exactly the same thing to give us like, oh man, it looks so cool when a lot of people are doing that effect. And then they go out and do other angles to make this effect look even bigger, which is why they're all facing kind of like opposite ways. I guess in this case, yeah, point their arms going out of the box rather than pointing inwards. And so that lean going back into the bass drop of the entire song is really important, that no one is early for that move, because that means you're anticipating the music rather than just taking your time and being patient with it. So it would be really obvious if like Yoonjin had stepped early on the lean, or if Kazuha or anyone else actually from the front line, we would have seen that. From what I saw, it looked like everybody was on time, which was really good. Yeah, it's cool to see this choreo on a lot of people. And I believe the dance team that performed with them was Manic Queen from Street Woman Fighter. It was great to see a dress rehearsal slash dance practice for specifically this Mama Awards performance, just because the camera work wasn't the best. It was really hard to see the formations and what they were trying to go for because it was just switching around too much. So I'm glad that I saw the individual sections that they did, and also just the breakdown from the breakdown all the way to the end. I got to see the type of effects that they were going for and the formations as well. So I mean, I love SSERAFIM. They always kill it at these award shows. So I'm gonna go and break down more dance practices soon. Hopefully actually more SSERAFIM dance practices. But you know, if y'all like them, go ahead and subscribe. Peace.